Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business News Afternoon Report for Thursday, the 12th of December, 2024. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, the unemployment rate fell to 3.9% last month, much lower than expected, and enough for financial markets to discount any chance of a rate cut in February. A surge in full-time jobs last month has kept the labour market strong. The result immediately triggered a rise in the Aussie dollar, but a fall in the local share market. By the close, the S&P ASX 200 was down 0.3% to 8,331 points. The banks were mostly flat. The big miners were mixed. Some of the tech stocks did well, including Pro Medicus and Xero, though REA dropped. Story number 2, one country where a rate cut is likely is the United States. That follows a positive inflation reading overnight. The US CPI rose by 0.3% in November and 2.7% for the year, and markets have now priced in a 95% chance of a 25 basis point cut next week when the Federal Reserve meets. The Bank of Canada and European central banks are also cutting rates. Australia's just looking a little bit lonely at the moment. The inflation figures in the US helped Wall Street, with the tech-heavy Nasdaq pushing beyond 20,000 points for the first time ever. The Nasdaq has almost doubled over the past 2 years as the Magnificent Seven tech stocks, Apple, Ventia, Microsoft, Alphabet, Amazon, Tesla, and Meta, have pushed Wall Street higher and higher. The single biggest question for investors on Wall Street: can the Magnificent Seven keep running? Story number 3, childcare is set to be front and centre in the upcoming federal election campaign after the coalition today said it won't support government plans to change the rules around accessing financial support. Yesterday, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said the activity test for childcare payments would be removed. Now, that test requires parents to have a job, to be looking for work, or studying to receive subsidies. The Prime Minister also announced a $1 billion early education fund to help build or expand 160 childcare facilities in what they're calling childcare deserts, places where there's high demand and few facilities. The opposition said it won't support the changes, though, notwithstanding many in the business community, including the Business Council of Australia, do support the changes. The government's also considering a scheme whereby families would pay a flat fee of $10 or $20 a day for childcare with no activity test. Story number 4, the share price of infrastructure services provider Ventia tumbled today on news that the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission has started proceedings against it and Spotless for alleged historical price fixing. Spotless is nowadays owned by Downer EDI, and its share price fell as well. The case relates to a multi-billion-dollar contract with the Federal Defence Department to provide maintenance and operational services to 200 bases around the country. Spotless currently has a $4 billion contract with Defence. Ventia has a $5.8 billion contract. They're both due to expire in mid-2025, according to the Fin Review. The ACCC alleges that executives from the two companies made or tried to make arrangements to fix the prices at which Spotless, Ventia, and a third group, Canadian-owned BGIS, supplied services to Defence between April 2019 and August 2022. ACCC Chair Gina Cascott-Leap said the alleged conduct caused direct harm to taxpayers. Downer has denied the allegations. Ventia said it's reviewing details of the allegations before commenting. And story number 5, the UN General Assembly overnight overwhelmingly approved resolutions demanding an immediate ceasefire in Gaza and backing the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees, which Israel wants banned. There were 158 votes in favour of both motions, including Australia's votes. Israel and the US were in the small minority, speaking and voting against the resolutions. General Assembly resolutions are not legally binding, but broadly, they reflect world opinion. There are no vetoes in the Assembly. The vote occurred after the US vetoed a Security Council resolution last month demanding an immediate Gaza ceasefire. That's it for the afternoon report for Thursday, the 12th of December, 2024. Make sure you hit follow on the podcast. We'll be back tomorrow morning with a Friday edition of Fear and Greed Business News. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.